Kansas City this year has honestly looked pretty rough. They are currently sitting at 5-5. And at this point, if the playoffs started today, Kansas City would not be in. Now, that's not what we've come to expect from this Kansas City front. So let's talk about what exactly is happening with Kansas City and why everybody is having this conversation about, is the Chiefs dynasty over? Let's start with last night's game. I think a lot of people are viewing this game as, oh man, what did the Chiefs do wrong? I think this was more so a game of what the Broncos did well. The Denver Broncos are one of the best defenses in the league. And the criticism I've had of the Broncos is that I wanted to see their offense play a bit better. Yes, we know your defense is great, but when you start getting to the postseason and your defense maybe has a bad day, the offense needs to be there to kind of lift them up. The offense had to score more points. And Bo Nix came into this game and he said, God damn it, I'm going to put on a performance. The thing about the Broncos is offensively, you don't need every game to be high caliber on offense. You need your offense not to turn the ball over, and you need them to score a few points, right? 3 touchdowns, then 9 times out of 10, that's enough for the Broncos. If the offense can stay playing at that medium to high level while the defense is playing at an elite level, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. They came in here, Kansas City just wasn't really prepared for this game. And we're going to get into some of the problems that I think Kansas City has had. But before I started talking about that, I did want to give the Broncos their props because a lot of the coverage on this game has mostly been people being like, what's going on with the Chiefs? What did they do wrong? And people aren't really kind of hyping up the Broncos as they should. The Broncos played a phenomenal game. I think this was more so a game of how dominant the Broncos defense was versus how bad the Chiefs were. To me, Kansas City has had the same problem for 2 seasons, and it's their inability to run the football effectively. If you look at Kansas City losses this season, the common denominator in those games is that they just didn't run the ball well. In last night's game, Kareem Hunt only had 13 carries for 59 yards, and Patrick Mahomes had 1 carry for 3 yards. In a loss against the Bills, Kareem Hunt had 11 carries for 49 yards. In their loss against the Jags, Patrick Mahomes had 6 for 60. Kareem Hunt had 7 for 49. Isaiah Pacheco had 7 for 36. Chiefs will have these games where Patrick Mahomes gets a good amount of rush yards, but he's not really getting much from his running backs. So I understand when I see Chiefs fans talking about the play calling and how they think the play calling is pretty archaic. I've seen some Chiefs fans talking about, like, let's get rid of Andy Reid. But I think it really boils down to that it's hard to scheme for an offense when your run game is essentially ineffective. The Chiefs' running game is going well. That opens up play action for Patrick Mahomes, and you get more creative play calls for him. Right now, if you're a defense, you're like, bro, they're not running the ball. All we got to watch out for is Patrick Mahomes scrambling, and we just got to watch out for his throws. And that makes their offense look very one-dimensional, which is why a lot of Chiefs fans have a problem with the play call. I know a lot of people are just going to default to being like Patrick Mahomes is overrated, but I've watched the Chiefs. I haven't watched them as much as a Chiefs fan, but the thing that always stands out to me when I watch the Chiefs is they just aren't running the ball well. They get in too many 3rd and long situations. They don't win on first. They have very bad 1st and 2nd downs because they're essentially you're running the ball, you get stuff -1, 2nd and 11. You try something else. Doesn't work. 3rd and 11. They have too many situations like that. I really think the Chiefs needed to go and do everything they could to get Breece Hall. Breece Hall helps this team tremendously. The offensive line has been playing solid. Are they playing astronomical? No, but if you look at them, besides like maybe like the right tackle or whatever, if you watch the Chiefs, like the line has been okay. They've been okay enough to win you football games. But the problem is offensively, they get put in way too many bad situations that Patrick Mahomes is expected to work his magic and get them out of. I think their offensive play calling has been really predictable, and I think that's kind of like outcome of the run game not being that great. So offensively, the Chiefs have a lot to work on when it comes to that run game. I know people are talking about the receivers. That's also a problem. The receivers are looking like, I love Worthy. I'm a big Worthy believer. He has moments where I'm like, wow, Worthy is really good. But then he has moments where I'm like, oh, what is happening? For the Chiefs in the offseason, the biggest thing they really need to look at is, maybe you need a new offensive coordinator. Maybe you need to get somebody in there that can work around some of those flaws that you have. Because right now they aren't really working around their flaws. And B, they really need to do something about that running back room. Because while I like Isaiah Pacheco and I like Kareem Hunt, they are not, they clearly aren't the answer right now. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Chiefs fan in the comment section, let me know what you think the biggest problem with this team. Do you think is the offensive coaching? Do you think it's the run game? Do you think it's Patrick Mahomes? What's happening? I'm gonna assume this is Kelsey's last season in the NFL. I just don't believe Kelsey's heart is really in it anymore. I think yesterday was probably his best game of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe Kelsey's heart really is in it anymore. I think he's ready to retire. I think this might be his last season, but we'll see. Hey, listen, let me know in the comment section what y'all think. As always, everybody, enjoy football.